Stand right here. On it. Look out at all of those crazy looking people. This is Cassie. Now, your country, Cassie's country right now, is about $16 trillion in debt, and it'll go up by the time we're done with this town hall. That's not really the truth, though. Remember, we say the unemployment rate's not 8.2%, it's really 15% when you count everybody who's quit work, looking for work. Our debt really isn't 16 trillion. When you add in our Social Security obligations and our Medicare obligations that we're all going to make good on, it's north of 100 trillion. 100 trillion. Right now, Cassie, how old are you, Cassie? 8 years old. Right now, Cassie, who's 8 years old, has a tab. If you just go by the $16 trillion, she's got about a 50 and change debt on top of her head.
52,000.
52,000.
53.
Just if we go by that $16 trillion debt. If we count Social Security and Medicare, guys, you know it's a lot more. I don't know what she did to deserve that bill. She looks really sweet. I don't think she's been messing around in the markets yet. Cassie's already $52,000 or $3,000 in debt because your politicians haven't had the courage to tell you, we got to stop. And I'd argue, I'll say this with a smile, you all haven't had the courage to demand your politicians live within their means. And if we don't, Cassie's only 8. Cassie is going to be, say, 34 years old one day, married, couple kids, making a good living. That $53,000 is going to be hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. And here's the saddest thing about Cassie. Saddest thing about Cassie. Unless we do something, again, let's say when Cassie's 40 years old, you can't even imagine that. Cassie's 40 years old. She just said, I don't want to be 40. Yes, you do. Cassie's 40 years old. She's got a really nice job. Let's say she's making a couple $100,000 a year. Her husband's doing well too. But because we didn't have the courage to pay our bills and rein in our government right now, that $200,000 that Cassie's making, $180,000 of it's going to go to government and taxes to pay for your and my bills. Shame on us. Thank you, Pastor. Final thing I'll say. This election is about these 4 things. Americans aren't working, our economy's not growing, we're broke, and the final piece. Friends, we are losing our freedoms every day and every week in this country. It did not start with Barack Obama. Barack Obama doesn't even know what freedom means. He has no clue as to what freedom means. Republicans and Democrats, our elected officials for years have been taking away our freedoms. I'll throw 2 examples out at you. You are a Catholic priest. You run a Catholic hospital. Are you telling me we're at a point in this country where that Catholic priest's government can tell him to pay for and provide products which go against his faith? Are we there?
We shouldn't be there.
Second point. We now know, I'll say it one more time, we now know the only way Obamacare is constitutional is if it's a tax. So let's get that out of the bag, and if President Obama were here, we'd make him look in the camera and say, you're right, you got me. It's a tax. I don't know about you, but have we reached a point in this great free country where you and I and you can be taxed for not doing something, for not buying something? If you don't think If you truly don't think we're losing our freedoms, then they're lost, and they'll go right by you. And I'm going to end where I began. The people that make this country go are the small business people. The guys in Elk Grove and Addison and Bloomingdale, the women in Schaumburg, Palatine, and Elgin who've got 3 or 4 employees, or they got 50, or they got 150. This is the engine that makes this country go. And this engine right now has been shut down because we are regulating and taxing these people to death. Why? I don't know. I do know. But they're leaving Illinois. They're boarded up out there. They're leaving Illinois if they can. They're leaving America if they can. Shame on us. Because a guy or a gal who puts everything they got into their business, that's their money, that's their business. You now have a government that's taking way too much of what they make. And oh, here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. When that businessman or woman dies, who gets that money? Why in God's name does the government get a cent of what you have when you die? I don't care how wealthy, middle class, or poor you are. When you die, that's your money to give to your family, your charity, keeping your business, whatever you want. Government, keep your hands off. I will end there. I will end there. That's much too long for me. Remember the rules. Respect everybody. If you can't hear a question, I'll repeat it. Let's jump in. Thought or a question from anybody? Who's ready? You, sir. Give me a name and where your hometown.
Yeah, my name is Ted Wilkin. I live in Mount Prospect. Every day I feel like I'm under assault when I listen to the TV set, but today is special. Today was a double header. In the morning, we see the President of the United States on tape. He was somewhere, I think it was in Virginia this weekend. Now, disclaimer, I'm not a small businessman, but about 30 million Americans run businesses. And here we have the President of the United States standing up in front of a cheering crowd saying, those people out there that they created those small businesses, well, they didn't build them. Somebody else built them. And I can't tell you how offended I am. I'm not a small business owner. I work in a small business. And I'm offended, and I hope every small businessman is offended. That is just insane.
I'm offended, Ted, also.
Hold up, louder.
I'm with you, Ted. I'm offended. I want every small business owner to stand up here and let's give them a hand. How dare this guy steal my future?
I just had one more quick comment.
Oh, you're on a roll. I'm not stopping.
Okay, one more
Go ahead.
quick comment.
Quickly.
On the way home, I get round number 2. Round number 2, it's announced on the radio that our good friends in the Democrat Party have apparently think they're seeing weakness, and they think that, aha, we've got the Republicans, they're ready to cave in on taxes. So they're out there announcing that they're threatening to drive the country over the economic cliff unless they get their way. Give us our tax increase or we're going to drive the bus over the cliff. Are you kidding me? Are you nuts?
Thank you. Let me make, hold up, one quick comment, and then we'll spread it around. And if I offend anybody, I apologize. But life's too short, and we got a lot of work to do. The beautiful thing I think about life in general is, here I'm going to try to put a sunny face on everything. We so overthink everything. Life's not complicated. This isn't complicated. The president on Friday said something again. Yeah, you're right. He said, small business guys, you didn't do it. You didn't build up your own business, blah, blah, blah. And remember a couple months ago, he said some things about the free market that he just read my lips. This is not complicated. 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago, let's be honest, we elected someone who was never ready to be president. He was just never ready.
That's right.
I think most Republicans feel that way. Darn near all independents feel that way. I know quietly a lot of Democrats feel that way. He just wasn't ready. And so a lot of people get bent out of shape by, oh, he doesn't know anything about this, or he doesn't understand business, or why did he hire that guy, or why? It's not complicated. He had never run anything. He had never managed anything. He had never led anything. Folks, you elected a state senator as your president. He just wasn't ready. So, it's not complicated. Final point I'll make is, yeah, he doesn't understand what makes this country tick. What makes this country tick is the most God-fearing, energetic, entrepreneurial, most passionate people in the world living their lives, raising their families, growing their businesses, taking care of their churches, taking care of their communities, and generally all these great folks want is government just kind of stay out of my hair. The president doesn't understand that, but it's not hard to understand why he doesn't understand that. It's not complicated. Yes, ma'am. All the way in the back. Stand up.
My name is Janice. I'm 1965. I'm from Mount Prospect also.
Oh, I'm going to have a real hard time hearing you.
I'm from Mount Prospect.
Okay.
I was at your meeting a few weeks ago about the healthcare mandate.
John, if you can, give that to her. I need it, and we all need it. Thank you.
My name is Janice. I'm from Mount Prospect.
Welcome.
I was at your meeting 2 weeks ago when you were discussing the healthcare mandate, and I'm also from a family of extended relatives who are all small business owners. Apart from my voting for someone different in November, what is the main point that I'm going to be telling my congressmen and senators after this meeting? What is it? Not spend, and because there's debt upon debt upon debt. What is the one issue that I should be telling them?
I'm sorry, telling who?
When you say right to congressmen, you know, or...
Oh, I see. If I were out there running a small business, the one thing I'd be telling every elected official I could is, you're killing me. Get rid of Obamacare. And folks, I've said a lot, and I'm going to say it again. You want to make this election really easy? How about that? We'll save ourselves a lot of gray hair, lines on our faces, everything, a lot of stress over the next 4 months. This election really comes down to one issue, Obamacare. And here's why. I can't remember the last time I saw an issue, one issue, that impacted the 4 things that I think this election's about. Americans aren't working, our economy's not growing, we're broken, we're losing freedoms. That's all in Obamacare. So if you really like what you think Obamacare is going to do, and you want to keep going in that direction, i.e. more government-run health care, then Obama's got your vote, and vote for Duckworth, because they're going to keep expanding it. If Obamacare scares you as a small business person, and it should, vote for Romney, vote for Walsh, because we will repeal it the first week we're in charge. So the one thing I'm telling all of my elected officials, start somewhere. Get rid of Obamacare. Get rid of it. There's a lot after that we can get rid of to help you, to save you. But start there. Because if we, guys, you know everything about government, once a government program dips its toe right there, we can't get rid of it. It has to be repealed. There's a reason why 80% of businessmen and women in this country don't want it. Final thing I'll say, and then I'll go, Father, back to you. Do you remember a year ago I skipped, President Obama had a joint session of Congress to announce, I think, his 5th jobs plan. And I said, the heck with it. He doesn't know the first thing about job creation. I'm not going to sit in that chamber. I'm going to come home. I'm going to hold a town hall with 100 businessmen and women. And I asked them, you tell me, guys, because you guys know, how do we create jobs in this country? They all said what we intrinsically know. Get these regulations off my back, give me permanent tax relief, and do something about all the debt in Washington. Makes sense. But the one thing they all identified